Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you've been focusing on trying to get this here Navy Federal Flagship card, I'm gonna actually tell you one key thing that people do not tell you about this here card. Now, anybody with bad credit can actually get this card. Now, the reason why people want this card because the limit goes up to 80,000, right? So the limit goes up to 80,000, but I keep telling you guys what happens with Navy Federal when it comes to their credit cards. They look at all of your credit cards and the total comes up to 80,000. Now, depending on your income, they may go beyond that when it comes to your credit. But you have to have a high net worth in order for them to do that. Now, that being said, here's some of the things that you have to understand with Navy Federal. All right. One, in terms of those that can't join, I have two institutions. I'm going to show you the easiest institution that you can easily get up to $50,000 in funding for. So hang on for that. But for those that can't join Navy Federal as well, like I said, the easiest way to get in, if you can't join because of military status or relationship, if you have somebody that you are roommate with and you all share the same address, you can actually join through them because you all share the same address. All right. So that's one of the key ways in order for you to join. Now, say that you have a dead grandfather or that served in the military, or you have parents that are deceased that served in the military, then you would have to show their DD 214 form in order to join. Okay. Now that's the hard part. All right, that's the hard part. But getting back to this flagship card, so that you understand, like I said, a lot of people are making a big deal about this card. I would not focus on this here card. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because of the interest rate. Now, here's the interesting thing about the interest rate of the flagship card. After your 1 year anniversary, you can ask them to reduce your interest rate. That's right. You can ask them to reduce your interest rate after 1 year anniversary. All right. Now, sometimes they may do it sooner, but usually after 1 year, they will look at it and they will consider reducing your interest rate on the card because usually most of their cards go up to 18%. Right? So for you to get a lower interest rate, of course, saves you money. But there's a better card that they have that actually saves you even more money. But again, because people want this here flagship card, because the limit goes up to 80,000, what they do generally is all of your credit card balances combined, they will move those over to the flagship card, going up to 80,000. Or if you just work on this one card and keep getting credit limit increases every 91 days, then that's a thing. But here's the thing about it. It's all about the internal score. Okay? And this is very important because a lot of people are not getting this. I always tell people, if you have direct deposit with another institution, split that direct deposit up. So you have a portion going into Navy Federal, and then you have a portion going into your other institution. You don't have to have 100% of your direct deposit going into Navy Federal. Now, for those of you that are trying to get this here flagship card and you work for yourself, you're self-employed and stuff, and you don't have payroll, you're not set up as an entity, click the link in the description. Let us help you set up the entity and the payroll so that way you can take advantage of some of these other opportunities you hear other people getting, right? That being said, again, internal score. So direct deposit. Now you all know how to get direct deposit even if you are self-employed, DoorDash or stuff like that. Direct deposit. Making sure you have a flagship. Now you can have a regular checking account, but it's better to have a flagship account. Okay. Number two is having a savings account. All right. So always talk about the savings account. And if you have bad credit, making sure you have the N rewards card. and doing the pledge loan, especially with the pledge loan hack. Now, we talk about the pledge loan hack where you put a percentage on a card, then you immediately pay up to 80-90% of that card, and then you spread out the remaining of that balance over 2 to 5 years. Okay, and I have made another video about the pledge loan hack. You can check it out on the channel. But here's the interesting thing. With the pledge loans, you have to understand that's not going to qualify you for their regular loans. That has nothing to do with it. All your internal score is for your credit cards. Okay, that's what it is. So now you have direct deposit, you have your savings account, you have your end rewards, you have your pledge loan. One thing that makes a difference, one big difference, especially if you're new to Navy Federal, that shows them they're really committed to this, and that's having a long-term CD. A CD that goes anywhere from 12 months and beyond. If you open up a CD, this here actually pushes up your internal score. That's right, even if you have bad credit, because you have multiple accounts with them and that CD is what's locking you in for long term, now they know that you have a committed relationship with them. And because of that, what it ends up doing, not only does it position you to have this, get access to this pledge, this flagship card, but it also positions you to qualify for all of the other cards as well. That's right, all of the other cards as well. Now, here's my thing. Like I said, a lot of people want this here pledge, this flagship card, but again, to me, I'm not impressed by it, again, because I don't want to be paying interest on a credit card. So what I would tell you guys to do, instead of going after this here card, the credit card that you really want to be going after, especially if you're trying to get yourself out of debt. If you're trying to get yourself out of debt, then the credit card you actually want to be going for is this platinum card. That's right, this platinum card. Because here's the thing about it with this platinum card. So this is the card that you actually want to go after, okay? And you can do a pre-qualify for this. As you can see here, these are the regular interest rates, right? But their intro interest rates on this platinum card is 0%, all right? So this is the card that you actually want to, Navy Federal actually, they use TransUnion FICO 9, okay? So all of their credit cards are TransUnion FICO 9. The business credit cards is Experian FICO 9. Okay. Now keep this in mind about Navy Federal as well on the business side. I would not make them my primary bank as well. The reason is because your business bank transactions are not being reported to the business credit bureaus. It helps them internally, but it's not being reported to the business credit bureaus. Okay. Okay, guys. For those of you that couldn't get into Navy Federal, here's one of the easiest credit unions you can join. This is BCU, Baxter Credit Union. All right. And the reason that I would even pick this here credit union over Navy Federal is because they actually use a Vantage score, a Vantage TransUnion score. So for those of you that may be confused at the moment, like I was telling you about Navy Federal, they actually use FICO 9. They use TransUnion FICO 9 for their credit cards. What BCU, they actually use TransUnion Vantage score. So when you go to like Credit Karma or something like that, and you look at your score, you may see that that's your Vantage score, your TransUnion Vantage score. That's the reason, like when you apply for a credit card through like Credit Karma and you get denied and you're trying to understand why I got denied, is because the institutions that you're pulling from, like they say you are pre-approved for a Chase card or American Express or Capital One, and then you get denied, is because your Vantage score. Now, please understand, like Capital One, Chase, as well as American Express, they they give you a Vantage score, but they actually use a FICO score. Okay, and so typically your Vantage score is higher because it calculates more data. So what I mean by more data is like if you have rental payments, if you have subscriptions, you have utilities, authorized user, your Vantage score actually calculates that. However, your FICO 8 scorers, they do not calculate that. So that's the reason, like when you're applying for credit and stuff through those institutions like Credit Karma or something, you get denied. All right. And please keep in mind the reason your Vantage score is high, again, not only because of that, it helps Credit Karma by them trying to use a Vantage score. Because they're a data collecting company and because they are a affiliate referral company, whenever you apply for a credit card, all right, even if you don't get approved for that credit card, they actually get paid for that lead. So that's the reason they may be telling you, hey, you've been approved for this here card. That's the actual reason they got sued too, because they're telling people they're approved for cards, and these cards they're telling they're approved for, they use a FICO 8 instead of a Vantage score, in which their system is based off of. Okay, so this is why you can join BCU, because they're non-geo restricted, meaning anybody in the country can join them. Now I'm going to show you exactly how you can join so that you know that this is probably one of the best viable ways in order to get, like I told you, this credit union gives you up to $50,000 in credit cards as well, but they use a Vantage, which is much easier to build. So in terms of eligibility, here's what it is for your eligibility. So you have employment, community, family, Life Money U, right? So since you have Life Money U is an organization that pays $5 and then you can join. Okay, so that's the way that you would actually join them. Now I'm going to show you one other credit union that's a Vantage score that's non-geo restricted as well, and this is Veridian. There's multiple Vantage scoring credit unions out there, but I'm just showing you these two so you would have a better idea. So with Veridian, they have credit cards as well. Now with Veridian, it's TransUnion Vantage 3 scores as well. That's right. They are TransUnion, only TransUnion. All right, for those of you that were considering NASA, okay? So with NASA, they do a pre-approval as well. As you can see here, no impact on the credit score. Well, NASA uses a Vantage 4 scoring system, okay? It's the Vantage 4 scoring system. Now, the difference between your Vantage 3 and your Vantage 4 scoring system is that where your Vantage scoring system, if you had like public records or something like that, or medical bills, it would count it in, but not with the Vantage 4 scoring system. So NASA switched over to the Vantage score. They actually used to use a Mortgage 2 scoring system in order to qualify. Now they use an actual Vantage score. So this is also a good institution. Plus, you can get pre-qualified with actually knowing your limits. Just keep in mind that it's a Vantage score, not a FICO score. So these are your easiest credit unions to join that are non-geo restricted, that you would be able to still get higher limits even if you can't get into Navy Federal. All right. Now, for those of you that may have questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off of the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation.